Good. Welcome back to the Young Adult Diary. I am your co-host, Dawson Poling.
I am Tom Jing. Today, we have Jenna here with us.
Hey, guys.
We actually got a little bit of a different episode for all you guys today. Jenna's here, but she is not a guest. We are doing a Q&A podcast, right? Jenna's got some good questions for us that we've heard from people on Instagram, some of our listeners, and we're going to do a little podcast of Dawson and I answering these questions that you guys have asked. We're stoked.
I'm super excited.
We're stoked. We're stoked. So, Jenna, give us a little intro about yourself.
What do you want to know? I mean,
What do you want to tell us?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it's
really
just a
up to you.
Q&A.
You can make up a fake life too.
Oh.
Don't even tell us the truth.
Oh, okay.
Tell us your dream identity.
So I'm 23 years old. I'm a
old.
millionaire.
Okay.
I have 2 kids.
At 23?
Yeah.
Wow.
We all know what that happened.
All right.
No, all right.
Questions.
Moving on. I am being held against my will to be here, though. I will say that.
Yes. Well, we're very gracious that Jenna is coming on here to help us list these questions and support the facilitating of this episode.
Yes.
So
We are.
we are
Did you
gracious.
just say you're grateful for me, Tom?
Did I?
No,
guess
it's
you have
okay.
to-
It's okay.
I didn't hear
appreciate
it.
that.
I guess you have to rewind.
We got that on video.
I guess you have to
so
rewind 10 to 15 seconds.
I'd like that clip saved, please.
Yes. Why don't you ask one of your friends to watch it too and confirm?
All right. Questions. Come on. Come on. We have an agenda here.
Okay.
You sound like you got somewhere to be.
All right. So starting off, I'm going to ask you, what does it mean to have balance in your 20s, and is it realistic?
I would say yes. In your 20s is time to have fun, right? And for you to figure things out. I personally do believe that you should hustle in your 20s. You should work hard to set yourself up for the future. But I do believe that you should also have fun with your friends, with your family, because when you work so much and try to hustle, it's not a bad thing, but you're going to get burnt out eventually, and you're not going to be in a mental state to continue, and you're not going to be able to be consistent, in work and things like that without having fun.
Yeah. I'd say, can you have balance in your 20s? It matters your definition of balance and what you're trying to balance. And so for me, it's more figure out your priorities and stick to it. Like if your first priority is work and then family, it's like, all right, stop going and drinking at bars. like that's not part of your priority list, And so if you have balance, you are going to stick to your priorities and just be consistent with that, and I think you can have some balance.
Yeah, I like that. Priorities different for everybody, If you really value having a good time, then, you're going to put going out every single night as one of your priorities. But if you value being a hustler and setting yourself up for the future, then, maybe, hey, 2 nights a week, you hang out with friends, hang out with family, like things like that. That's a balance. So balance is different for everybody. Balance is different for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I heard this one time. I think it was from this real estate mogul influencer dude named Pace Morby. But he was talking about work-life balance, and he said for him it's more work-life integration. And so it's not, now again, like he's taking, like he's always on the clock. He's taking calls and stuff, but it's like it's not like work and then family. It's like, no, it's like it's together. He's doing things and everything. But I think work-life integration can work for some people, but only if you like what you're doing for work.
I agree with that because, you don't mind, taking some calls while, maybe you're hanging out with people if you like what you do.
Yeah.
So, and, maybe, those things are important to you. Maybe this phone call can, put you to the next step of your career, and you need to take that call. So I agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hit us up with next question.
All right. I was going to say, How do I maintain friendships when everyone's in a different life stage?
That is a good one. That is a good one. I feel like I just went through this with being out of college. You probably went through it a couple years ago when you got out of college. Everybody's, different stage of life, different states too, people are in Arizona, California, we're here in Chicago, Illinois, and everybody, Washington, wherever, right? Wherever your friends go after college. For me, I like to take the initiative to stay in contact with people that are really important to me, right? Got a long drive home from work. Make a call, right? Call them up. Shoot them a text. Hey, got a chance to catch up? Like, do you have time right now? What you doing? I think taking the initiative to maintain that friendship is important. But this is also important. It can't just be one-sided, right? Like the people that I keep in very good contact with that are from college is a very two-sided relationship, and I make sure of that, right? I only reach out to people who reach out to me often as well. Now, of course, every once in a while I'll reach out to somebody who I haven't talked to in a while just to reach out. But somebody that I talk to on a very consistent basis, I'll take that initiative, and they will as well. So just choose your friends carefully.
Yeah, I'd say it can be definitely hard to keep friendships when you're done with college. Because, with me, I went to school near Dayton, Ohio, and the majority of my friends are still in Ohio. And then my really good high school friends back home have all moved out of state. They're somewhere. And so I kind of had to start again with friends, which wasn't a bad thing. It's actually nice to get a fresh start with friends sometime. There's no preconceived ideas or notions about you. But it's just kind of I'm here to make some new friends and everything. I would also say that it is not a bad thing to move on from some friendships. It's some friendships just fizzle out, and it's like, you know what? I guess that person isn't going to be invited to my wedding someday.
Save you some money.
Yeah.
Save you some money.
Save me some money on a plate,
Yeah.
And I just don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, I agree.
And so, yeah. What are your thoughts, Jenna?
I think that it's important to not get offended when people also are pursuing their life. Obviously, like Tom said, it's important to have that it's mutual, you want to have that mutual want for the friendship. But I think also as adults, as we're trying to figure out our lives, life happens, life gets busy. I feel like
Right.
I blink and a week goes by. And so it might not always be personal, right? That you haven't reached out to someone. Life happens and we're all in a different chapter. I feel like that's one of the most, one of the biggest things that I feel like I see amongst myself and my friends is I've been working part-time at a coffee shop. Some of my other friends, they went straight from college into master or to get their master's degree. We're in two different spots in our lives, and it's not that you don't care about that person, but it's oh, well, I work every day, so I'm not usually on my phone. So yeah, maybe it's a couple weeks or a couple months
Right.
before I say something or before we reach out. And I think it's having that mutual understanding of my life's busy and your life's busy, and that doesn't always have anything to do with how I feel about you or where our relationship stands, as much as it is we're all just trying to figure life out, right? And I think you have to have that understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
yeah, for me, there's college friends and high school friends, but then there's college homies and high school homies.
Yeah.
And it's with those people that are the OGs. I cannot talk to them for I don't know, 9 months.
Yeah.
And just call them up or just hey, I'm coming to visit. Can I come stay? Yeah, of course. And it's, I don't know. I love those friendships that you can just pick up. But yeah, with the homies, I've probably got to be better of staying in contact. So
Yeah, I like what you said. And I think, as a young adult, don't feel like you have a pressure of keeping every friendship that you have. I think that's like that can get exhausting. You know, keeping every friendship tight and close. I think that can get exhausting. You know, pick some that you value. Pick some that you value. And kind of like Dawson said, like, you know, you're just at different stages of life. Maybe at this stage of life, your friendship is not meant to be close, right? Because you're off to doing something else. But later down the line, you guys could reconnect and end up doing something similar and reignite that friendship. And kind of like you said, yeah, I feel like I have a lot of friends where, you know, I don't talk to them for a long time, but yeah, if I was visiting Arizona, I call a bunch of people up and, you know, we can all get dinner and hang out and just catch up on life, see what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
And I feel like those are the best friendships to like prioritize. Are the ones that like I could pick up my phone and call my best friend Ashley, and like if she can't pick up the phone, name drop. If she can't pick up the phone, like she'll call me back when she gets a chance. And I think that those are the best types of friendships where it's like, yeah, like I know that majority of the time she'll pick up the phone, but if she doesn't, she'll get back to me because she cares about that friendship. And like maybe like you said, it's been a while. But yeah, having that mutual understanding of like, you're gonna be busy, I'm gonna be busy, it's okay.
especially it makes it tough when you're in different places. Where is Ashley, like, in the area? If
So
you know,
Ashley's in the city in Chicago.
Yeah, that's still a
so
drive.
she's not far, but also she's like full on in her career,
Right.
working like multiple jobs, and also she's just very busy. And so like we all have different lives, right? Yeah. But yeah, so she's not far.
People don't understand the suburbs and the city. That's two different.
Yeah.
Even though it is kind of close, but it's not.
It's not.
Because the people who are in the suburbs rarely go in the city, and people who are in the city rarely come out of the suburbs.
But it's also like you don't just drive into the city and like
you have to plan
pull into their driveway. Like they don't have a driveway. Like you have to find parking.
City peeps.
You have to find parking. Like, I'm not saying that it's an inconvenience, because when you go, it's like a blast, but it's also not.
It's kind of an inconvenience.
It's an inconvenience.
But it's also
it's okay to say it.
I just have to share a quick story.
I love you, Ashley.
I just have to share a quick story about the city inconvenience. Okay, probably like a month and a half ago, I went into the city, and I never go in the city because I hate traffic, but I also hate the train.
That's the other thing.
I also hate the train. So when I go in the city, I drive.
And that's why we live in the suburbs.
Yeah, so yeah, I love the suburbs. Like, you cannot convince me to go live in the city. And we drove, you know, I use this great app, no sponsor, but I do generally like Spot Hero.
Oh yeah.
I love Spot Hero. If you want a promo and give me lifetime free parking, Spot Hero, we're here to accept it. We're here to accept it. Anyhow, we rented one of those electric scooters in the city.
Oh.
I've never done that.
Dude, don't ever do it. It is awful. There is restrictive riding zone every
it just
single
shuts off.
where. I paid $50 to walk that scooter for 2 hours.
Yeah, because it just shuts off.
It just shuts off.
Yeah, and then you're like,
what?
I paid $50, and it won't just let you park anywhere. It keeps charging you till you get to a parking
zone.
To a parking zone.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking with you right now, guys. I paid $50 to walk a scooter for 2 hours. I've never been more mad in my life.
Did it warn you that you were in the like
No,
zone?
it doesn't tell you till you're there.
It just shuts off.
And it just shuts off. Like, it shuts off, and you have to walk everything.
First of all, can we just talk about from like the business side of that, how like they just got you so good?
Yeah, you have to do the bikes. They don't have no restriction on the bikes.
Well,
No, I think
I
they
hope
do.
not.
Yeah, it's but don't
I
do
think the bikes do.
don't do the electric bikes. The electric bikes do, but the one you pedal, you can go anywhere.
You can go anywhere.
You can go anywhere that you dream of. Okay, you can. But dude, it's a scam, guys. Don't ever do it. I'm gonna single-handedly take down that company. It was awful.
Also, like the people that drive those and like drive them in the street, in the city, and that's like normal for them. I'm like, I could never. That's scary.
I actually like that.
You drove it in the street, didn't you?
I was on Michigan Avenue.
Oh my god.
Michigan Avenue. Oh no.
Dude, it's actually legal to jaywalk in the city of Chicago.
I'm not surprised.
I don't think it's legal. I think they just have bigger issues to deal with.
I did it.
Yeah.
I
I
did
think
one.
they just have bigger issues to deal with. They're like, I'm not
That's
going to
true.
pull you over for jaywalking.
Can I bring it back to the original
Okay. All right,
question?
All right, original question.
Can I bring it back to so we were talking about friendships and keeping friends
How
and
do you
losing
maintain
friends.
those friendships?
Yes, and yes. So this is really bad. This is really, really bad. But I had a friend from college that just became a dad, and I didn't even know that his wife was pregnant.
Wow. Were
It
you
was-
close with him in college?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
I
What a friend you are.
I went to his wedding. Wasn't
you went to his wedding?
I went to his wedding. Dude, I didn't even. Now, granted, I don't think they like posted anything on social media, but that also shows I wasn't really keeping up with him. But I love this man so much, Timmy. I love you. I absolutely love you, and I'm so happy that you're a dad. Congratulations, happy Father's Day.
Congratulations.
Do you even know if it's a boy or a girl?
It's a boy,
You think?
I think.
DM us, Timmy. Let us know. DM us.
No, because if Dawson cares, he'll call.
Dawson's gonna call Timmy. Dawson is
I'm
gonna
go-
call.
I'm gonna
Wait
call
for
him.
Dawson's
see
call.
to it. I'm gonna see to it.
I'll remind him after this episode.
Okay.
We'll set a reminder on his phone. Siri.
Anyway, you were wanting to go back to the. You just wanted to tell your story.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
But I think that's okay because, like, I would say like when you left for college, and I was still in high school, like, we didn't talk too much because you were in college
Mhm.
and stuff like that.
But we're homies.
yeah, but whenever you came back home, like it was okay.
Why are you leaving us? Oh,
I'm gonna call Timmy.
Oh,
we're calling Timmy.
live. We're calling Timmy live.
Timmy, you better pick up. This would
That's gonna be
dope.
real awkward
This
if he
would be
doesn't.
dope. We're not telling him that we're on a podcast.
Like at all.
I don't know. This is just me and Timmy. Me and Timmy. I gotta
Well,
tell
but you have to tell
congrats.
him he's being recorded.
At some point.
Tell him, hi sir, you're on a recorded line.
Oh my goodness, Timmy, please pick up. Timmy. Timmy. I don't think he's gonna pick up.
It's also 8:06 and he has a newborn.
Is he in Ohio? Because that'd be 906.
No, he's in. Yeah, he's in Ohio.
That'd be
So
906.
it's
906 with a
906
newborn.
newborn. I think like the newborn's only like a week old.
Your call has been forwarded.
And Timmy,
Okay,
He'll call you
sorry,
back
I'll call
tomorrow.
you
We'll
later.
we'll call you back, Timmy.
I'll call you-
We'll call you back, Timmy.
I'll call you back.
maybe you should have left him a voicemail.
It's okay.
I like
Alright.
leaving people voicemails.
I do too.
My voicemails are pretty funny sometimes.
I love. Can we wait real quick? So off topic, but Dawson's voicemail makes me laugh. He thanks you for calling him.
Okay.
He goes, "Hi, it's Dawson Pulling. Thanks for calling."
I do too.
You do?
A lot of people
That's
do.
nice.
you
That's
thank for calling?
yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for calling
Thank
me.
you for making. Thank you for
Okay.
making the
Okay.
effort
You
to
know what,
click my
guys?
name and calling me and thinking of me.
And you know what? I have no room to talk actually because I don't think my voicemail's set up.
Yeah. And you know
Yikes.
what? Like my phone, I use it for business. Like like, hey, thank you for reaching out to me.
I
I'll
wanna
get back
hear
to you
your
as soon as I can.
voicemail.
Sorry, I'm not at the phone.
True. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I won't be a hater anymore. Okay. Should we move on?
Yes.
Okay. Next is what are your green flags and red flags in friendships and dating, or either or?
Ooh.
I think Tom
Mm.
should go first.
Tom. You've got
I'll give
you've
my.
got some hot takes. I know that.
Yeah, we'll do like 3 green flags, 3 red flags.
Yeah, tell me your
3
green
red flags.
Tell me,
Wow.
tell me your green flags. What are Tom Jing's green flags?
What are my green flags?
What would make a girl just like fall in love with Tom Jing?
Wait, like my green flags for a girl or like
No,
my
like,
no, like
what
your
about
green-
you?
Like why would a girl date Tom Jing?
And why
Oh.
wouldn't she?
I'm a niche market. There's
Okay.
a like dude, I'm pretty honest with myself. I'm a niche market. I have a lot more
Okay.
like even being honest with myself, I have a lot more red flags than green flags.
What are the
but-
red flags?
But if you like my green flags, then you're with me for
Okay,
life.
okay.
But, you know,
So what are they?
I'm a niche market. Green flags. I am a provider.
Okay.
I'm a big provider.
Girls love that.
Yeah, I'm a big provider. I've always said that, you know, I will provide for my wife, for my girlfriend. Almost said girlfriends. That's bad.
There's the red flag.
No, I'm
folks.
just joking. That was a red flag. No, but yeah, I believe, you know, men should be big providers. You know, if my wife would like to, future wife would like to stay home and be a stay-home mom and take care of the family, I want to be able to provide that. I want to be able to give all my resources over to her, and I'm willing to do that. Like one day if I have to switch to a Prius so that we could.
Dude, what's wrong with the Prius?
Nothing's wrong with the Prius. I actually really like Priuses.
I can see you driving a Prius.
I'm just saying, like,
he's saying he will love that girl so much he'll drive a Prius.
yeah, like I want to be a provider
Oh.
so that my kids and my girl can stay home
Yeah.
and live the life that she wants to. So that's one of
Okay.
my probably my biggest green flag.
Okay, give me another one,
I'll give you another one.
and then we can go to the red flags.
Yeah, I'm very very straight up.
Okay, that's a green flag.
That's a green flag.
You're
you don't have
honest.
to
You're
play games with me.
honest.
You
You're
do not
honest.
have to play games with me. If I like you, I'm gonna tell you I like you.
Okay.
If I don't like you, you're gonna know. Trust me, you're gonna know. Like I don't play games. You know,
Okay.
like I feel like there's a lot of guys
Yes.
and girls who like to
Oh,
play
100%.
emotional games. I
Yeah.
don't play games. You know, I like you. I like
Of
you.
like, I like you today. I don't like
yeah,
you
I want to take you on a
tomorrow.
date. I want to take you on a date. That's it.
Yeah.
Like black and
Okay.
white, very black and white. We're not playing though. Oh, maybe I like you a little bit, but not sure. Yeah, we don't do that. So,
What are your red flags, Tom?
what are my red flags? Very straightforward. That's all. That's also
It's a gift and a
very-
curse.
It's a gift and a curse, right? I often offend people. That's one of my red flags, and I'm very straightforward. Like, if you do something I don't like, there's no easy way for me to tell you. Like, I'm gonna bring it to you straight up, and yeah, some people can't handle it. That's just true. Some people get offended and they don't like the way I say it straight up. Another red flag. I'm extremely impatient. I'm extremely impatient. I'm trying to work on it, but I am extremely impatient.
You can just stop at 2 if you want, because you shared 2 green flags.
Yeah,
I
you're
won't
right.
make you like
All right,
give
all
me
right.
your rap list.
All right, all right. Dawson, share yours.
Oh man, I should have been thinking about this while you were talking, but I was a little too
Invested.
invested. I think, should I start with green or red?
Green, because Tom started
Green.
with green.
Green flag. I think
You're very good looking. No homo. No homo, guys. No homo.
I think, dude. Am I?
You're a good looking dude.
I'm a good looking dude.
I
No
think you're
homo.
good looking. What?
Okay. All right.
You think he's good looking?
Yeah, duh.
Huh.
Like
I
I'd probably
wonder that.
say I'm like a 7 out of 10.
I
Maybe
give
like
you- I
A
give you-
seven
I give
out
you
of
like
10?
a-
half, maybe. I don't know.
Dawson.
I feel like guys always put themselves
You-
low.
If
you know
I
what?
said I was
Guys-
a 7.5,
Can I be honest?
Guys always put themselves low.
Okay, I actually like that scale because here at this scale, I have a scale that people disagree with.
Okay.
5 is average. If you're 5, you're an
Yeah.
average looking guy.
Okay.
And you're okay, and I'm okay with that. 10 are like Brad Pitt's, Chris Evans.
You're right.
Like,
Okay.
So 7.5 is very 7
Yeah.
7.5 is very high.
I mean,
Okay, because
Like, I think
most
so.
people think of like a 10 is like an A plus,
Right.
and then a 7's
and
like failing.
I think 10 are like Brad Pitt.
no,
Chris
that makes
Evans,
sense.
like,
I kind of agree with that.
So I think a 7 is very high.
I
would say
guess I guess the lookalike that people are just like,
Oh,
you,
please
you look
don't.
like this person. The one
Tell us.
lookalike I get
Please
that
don't.
I've gotten the most is Robert Pattinson.
No.
Which I take as a compliment.
It's a compliment. That
I
man's
take
yeah.
yeah.
That
Not,
man's- no, also no homo.
No,
not
but-
Twilight version.
but like Batman version, Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
okay.
Okay,
Yes.
but so
Your
Tom
green
says a
flags.
green light is
Green light, green flag.
Green light.
Tom says a
Red
green
light.
flag for me is that I'm handsome with no homo.
Maybe a little bit homo.
Oh gosh. And then
His girlfriend is sitting right here.
And then I feel like I'm pretty caring.
Yeah.
I'm pretty caring.
100%. You shouldn't be asking me for permission. I'm asking
yeah.
what your green
I feel
flags
like
are.
I feel like I'm a pretty caring person.
I got a better idea.
Yeah.
Jenna, what are Dawson's green flags?
No,
give
no,
us
I
give us
don't- I
don't think
I don't like this.
We're not
Give us-
putting our relationship on the
and then,
Give us-
podcast.
no, and then my red flags, red flags are I can be a my way or the highway kind of guy sometimes. Probably not as much as you, Tom. Probably not as much as you.
I like to go other people's way.
And
He
then
likes to hit you head on.
I'd say I can be impatient sometimes.
Yeah.
Probably
I feel like that's
can-
something a
I
lot
can
of people
be- I can
struggle
be a
with
little
if we're being
impatient.
honest with ourselves.
And then the other thing is, like, I guess this is a red flag when you're trying to get into a relationship, but I'm terrible at flirting. Terrible at flirting, but then once I know someone well, then I feel a little more comfortable to flirt.
I've actually never seen him
But-
flirt, so I
No,
can't.
exactly.
I can't be.
Well, we started as friends, so
I'm
part of me is like,
terrible at flirting.
Yeah, I feel like only Jenna can answer that question. Like honestly,
but I'm also
will you
like,
will you answer that question for us? Will
but
you answer that
also
question
like
for us?
we started as friends, so I feel like the flirting was very low key to begin with because
Right.
we were both like nervous to be anything more than just friends.
Right.
So like, no, I wouldn't say you're for real though.
See, they don't have my green flag straight up.
It was complicated. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're not putting our relationship on the podcast.
All right, now, just super quick.
Yeah.
One green flag, one red flag. Girls. Super
Okay.
quick. Super quick. Like your green flag for like in a girl and a red flag in a girl.
Okay, green flag for a girl is I want her to be able to carry a conversation and not make me do all the work in carrying. I want someone who can conversate well.
I actually.
Okay.
Do I do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say you do that.
I'm a
I
yapper.
agree with
So
you.
someone who can conversate well. That's probably massive green flag, and of course I'd find a person attractive, of course. But a red flag is on a serious note. It is someone who is a bad communicator, someone who cannot communicate. That is a red flag.
I can amen to that.
And yeah, like whether, like I hate how texting has become so like, oh, he texted you like an hour later than what you did, and I'm gonna text him an hour. But like, no, like I'm not about that. Like you should communicate if you're gonna be somewhere. If you're not, like just have open communication, because a lot of stuff that would be complicated is now not complicated.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yep.
100%.
And then just now again, this isn't a very serious red flag, but I think when running form is weird.
I told him he's never gonna see me run
I
after
don't know.
he said this.
Like,
Seeing their running form decides whether if you're gonna have D1 babies down the future. I think that's important.
I don't think you have to see me run to know that we probably won't have D1 baby.
You don't know that. You don't know that. How do you know that?
tennis.
Okay, you know what?
Tennis.
Dawson's. We'll just hope Dawson's genes are real strong, because I'm not
All
very
right, Tom.
coordinated.
Top.
My green flag. My green flag is actually very similar to yours. Like,
Okay.
I'm super social and I'm a big yapper. Like, if I go to a party, I can hold my own. But I want a girl who can hold their own.
Yeah,
Like, I
that
want
you
a
don't have
gr-
to like check on.
Right. I want a girl who can like engage in conversation with my friends on her own. Like, I don't have to be there constantly to hold her hand and guide her to meet. Of course, I'll introduce her to everybody.
Yeah, and in
But
the
I want-
beginning,
you know, like,
yeah,
I'm gonna need to do my thing. She's gonna need to do her thing. So that's important to me. My red flag, and this is all honesty. All honesty. There is nothing that bothers me more in this world than food allergies. There. Now, with
Buckle
that being said, actually, like, this is probably like 90% of the girls I have talked to / dated
Are gluten free or
have
something.
some type of food allergy. Like,
Tom's always spending 10 more bucks on dates.
yeah, dude, guys, you don't understand. It adds up. It adds up. It adds up. Okay. But yeah, it's, I say it's a red flag only because you always got to go where they want to eat. You do.
true.
When you
I
date
guess.
someone with a food allergy, you always got to go where they want.
Can you go to Chick-fil-A?
Yeah,
Does Chick-fil-A have gluten-free stuff?
yeah.
Yeah, grilled chicken.
Grilled chicken, gluten-free
chicken.
bun.
Oh, yeah,
I love me
gluten-free
some
buns.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
You're
I
not
used to-
gluten-free.
I'm not. But
Do you have
I
any food
love
allergies?
Chick-fil-A.
Do you have any
I
food
don't.
allergies?
I
Okay.
don't. And I'm not picky either.
On eating? Oh,
Not really. No.
can I say this is a red flag? If you're a picky eater,
if
if
you
you are
just eat
picky-
like,
if you are a picky eater, that's a red flag to me. I'm serious. If you're a picky eater, that's a red flag to me.
I do wonder how they survive. Like, you just eat the same thing every day.
Picky eaters?
Yeah.
I feel like that's,
bland,
to
sad
me,
things.
being a picky eater is entitlement. Oh, it is. Oh, I'm going to say that right now. If you're a picky eater, follow our podcast.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Anyhow, next question.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should probably move on now. Let's go for, as a young adult, how should I effectively save up for a house? Or I feel like
So-
save money in general.
Yeah.
too.
Okay. So this was a question. We got a couple of these on Instagram.
Yeah,
and
we
it
did.
was people who were mid-20s asking, how can they get a house?
Can they even get a house?
Or can they even get a house? With my real estate background, I'd say I used to be like, renting is the enemy. But like, renting can actually buy you time, and it can still be a cheaper option. Just find some roommates. But long-term renting, I'm talking about like, I don't know, like
Years.
years and years and years. I'd say,
Yeah.
all right, by that time you should probably have something for like a condo. But I'd say don't be afraid to rent, even though you may not want to. And just because it is true right now where it's like, people, what they get approved for a house, they're buying it and then they're house poor because they don't have like anything in their house, you know, and you have this huge responsibility. And now it's like, oh my gosh, food is tough to get. I have 2 pieces of furniture. I can't afford to fix this. Then you start racking up even more credit card debt, you know? And so don't be afraid to rent. But also, there's some good loan options out there. You have an FHA loan, which is like 3.5% down. But I would say don't buy a house just to buy a house. Like, be comfortable buying a house. Know that you can afford it. Know that you can pay your bills, because it's just going to make you more stressed out than...
Do your
Yeah.
research.
Yeah.
Do your research. I think so I've been on my own for a long time. I feel like I've experienced the world just a little bit more than maybe most people my age. I've had to pay pretty much everything that adult have to pay, and I've understood that there are always more costs than what it seems on the surface. You know, things are always going to break. There are always more costs than what it seems on the surface. And my advice on that topic, I'm going to say this first. Full disclosure. Do as I say. Don't do as I do. Live below your means. Live below your means is the only way you can save. I think for us who are in younger 20s, just out of college or mid 20s, there's no issue with living with your parents. If you do not have to, if your parents are generous enough to charge you very little rent or to no rent, there is no issue living with your parents. You do not have to be ashamed about that. I always talk about be willing to ask for help. That's a way to ask for help. Now, do not live at your parents' house and spend every dime.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Take the help to actually take a step forward.
Yeah, take it, use the help, save up that money that you would have spent on rent, and start saving. Right, kind of like Dawson said. FHA loan, 3.5%. You can.
For those that don't understand that, can you break that down a little more?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you buy a house for $100,000. Now, in today's
It's gonna
world,
be more than $100,000.
yeah. In today's, we're just giving you an
Simple
example.
math.
We're just giving you an
Simple
example.
math.
In today's market, you're not gonna find a house for $100,000. So 3.5%. Your down payment for you to get a loan is $3,500. So that's what you need to save. So you can do the math. $200,000 house, $7,000. So you can qualify that for your first house, right? As a real estate agent. So. Guys, you don't have to save up that much, but kind of like Dawson said, don't be house poor. Don't only save up $7,000 and then spend
Yeah.
all that on your down payment.
Just so you can have a house. And
Yeah,
because
because you have to think about there's still closing fees, and you're gonna have to pay for
loan
mortgage,
fees.
registration fees, mortgage insurance because you don't have any equity over 20%. That's utilities. You have to think about all these. Let me tell you.
Do your research.
So so I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. I pay for everything on my own. Like I am not on a package with anybody. I pay all insurance, car insurance, my name, car payments, like everything I have. It's on my own account, so I know how expensive things can get, and it is expensive. Adulting is expensive. So if you can, do not be ashamed to use your parents' resources to help you save money and get a head start. That's what they're there for, if possible, right? If not, I think Dawson's right. Renting is a great strategy. Find some roommates to help you save money and lower rent costs. I think that's great. And yeah, just live below your means.
Dawson, you were talking recently about trying to find an apartment, and you were mentioning yesterday about like using a certain percentage of your income to base what your rent is going to be and trying not to go outside of that. Can you like explain that more thoroughly
So
as a tip for other
the
people?
rule of thumb is whatever your gross monthly income is, so that's before taxes, you do not want to spend more than 30% of your income on rent or mortgage. So for easy math, you make $3,000 a month. You do not want to spend more than $1,000 on rent or a mortgage. And that's just because life happens, stuff happens, and if you have over leveraged yourself with rent, you're kind of screwed. So or mortgage.
Yeah.
So
I mean, especially when you're like, okay, I got paid. Well, I have to pay my rent, and then you're like, oh, I have $50 in my bank account. And I mean like maybe $50 period, but also like, you know, you have your savings, but then you look at like what you're able to spend on like just daily things, and you're like, I have $50.
I would say if that's the case, you're living paycheck to paycheck.
Exactly.
Maybe the hustler mentality is, you know, it's time for the hustler mentality to kick in, right? Maybe get a side hustle, get a second job, right? If buying a house or this is something that's truly on your mind, perhaps going out every night and buying drinks is not smart.
No.
It's not smart. Guys, I started this acne medication 2 months ago. I haven't had a drop of alcohol in 2 months. And let me tell you, I feel like I have so much more money.
I was also gonna say your skin looks really good actually.
Oh, Jenna, stop flirting with me.
No, I'm not.
Jenna, please.
No, I'm not.
Jenna,
I
please.
just like as you said that, I
Your
was like,
boyfriend
that,
is right here. Stop.
I was like, that's what's different. I was like,
yeah,
okay,
and
it's
yeah,
working.
and honestly, like, you know, you go. I mean, think about it. You go out to dinner. Realistically, if you guys think about it, a drink sometimes costs just as much as a meal.
Oh, 100%.
You know, like
13.
yeah, like
15,
that's where restaurants make the most of their money.
yeah. I'm not saying like don't go out and have fun. We were talking about work-life balance, right? But if you have a goal in life, there sacrifice. Or we have a Corey on here.
Get that water.
Get that water. Get that water. Drink that Diet Coke. You know, free refills. That's important.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, you know, I would say hustler mentality. If you need to, definitely, you know, grind a little bit, get a second job, so that way, if you're living paycheck to paycheck from your first job, you can have some income that you can save up from your second job.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, for the last question, I feel like we're going in like kind of a different direction, but I really liked this question. It says, what does it look like to follow God in a culture that doesn't?
That's a great question. I think as a believer, it's like where you're going to school, where you're working, where you're living, the people you surround yourself with. There are tons of different just beliefs out there, whether it's politically or socially and everything. And you need to stay with what the Bible says and not what is popular in society. My dad, Scotty P, blue check mark.
Blue check mark.
He always has this phrase, and the phrase is be biblically correct, not politically correct. And that doesn't mean that you can't be loving towards people. But when it gets down to it, it's like you have your beliefs and they are based on something higher than yourself. And it comes to the point of would you rather please God or please man?
I think it's
You know.
standing confident in your faith, and like trying not to let the outside world like shake that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's really easy to go through that, to like be around people that aren't believers, and then they're saying all these things, and it's really easy to be like, but it's like, how confident are you in your faith to be like, no, like that's not what I know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Who do you surround yourself with is important,
Mm-hmm.
right? You hang out with unbelievers, you're going to do things that are not Christ-like. And as a believer, as a Christian, we're here to represent him on this world with everything that we do. Do we fail? Sure, we're going to, right? But we got to be conscious about it. And you know, we're gonna fall into worldly things. That's just because we're human nature. We're gonna sin. But just be conscious of it and stand firm. Stand firm. Like if you feel like something's not right, you know, then you gotta stand firm on it. You can't do it just because everybody else is doing it.
I agree.
Yeah, and like Dawson said too, it doesn't mean you can't be loving towards people. You can't be kind. It's just don't let them change what God has created you to do.
Yeah, and I feel like the surrounding yourself with people that are fellow Christians and like Christ and pursuing God, you know, there's a difference between Christians and Christians who are actually like doing something about it, you know. Surround yourself with people who are Christians that are following after Christ, and the people who you are in contact with that aren't Christians, like if those people don't know that you're a Christian and you're around them, I feel like you may be doing something wrong a little bit, you know, like if you're just kind of like picking up their ways and doing their stuff, you know, it's like then there's really no difference between you and the world. There should definitely be a difference. I think how to like stand out as a Christian in like a secular culture, it is like you can't affirm sin, if that makes sense. Like you can't affirm it. You can love people. You can.
You're not trying
like,
to please people.
You're not trying
You're
to.
not trying to please people.
Like when it gets down to it, you know, like will you please God or will you please man? And I feel like a lot of Christians nowadays kind of fold to pressure. They fold to pressure because it's like the thought of I don't know if these people will like me anymore and everything like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it gets to them and they fold and they're like, "Yep, I'm going with what the world says on this one."
It's human nature. I know I folded.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we all have. You know, it's human nature. You know, that doesn't make you a bad person or anything. It's just we fall into sin, but that's what we do. We're humans. You know, and God forgive us of that. So
Yeah. Were there any more questions?
No, that was it.
That was
it.
I only pulled
Good.
5 for you.
That's
Nice,
good. That's awesome.
Good. That's good.
We are not going to ask Jenna the $1 million question because we already know what her answer is.
Yep. Yeah.
But,
Not
I
giving me the
I just
platform.
want to show where I didn't tip today when I went and got coffee. Sparrow in Naperville.
Sparrow's cool.
Sparrow's cool.
Sparrow's
actually,
cool.
Well, I will say the coffee's
so
really
sorry.
delicious and it was a really cool place. But they flipped the screen on my face and I clicked no.
I'm so sorry to my fellow baristas.
But thank you for the coffee. It was delicious.
Tom thinks
Sponsor
there's only
us
one way to make coffee.
If you sponsor us, Tom will tip you.
If you sponsor me, I will tip.
That's not how
All right.
that works.
Awesome. It's kind of like a you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
how we keep the
It
economic
makes sense.
system
Yeah,
going.
come on,
That's
that
how we
makes
keep
sense.
that. How you know?
Okay.
It makes sense.
I'm gonna run out of money to tip soon enough if I keep tipping.
Oh my goodness.
Well, thank you guys for with us this episode, a little QA episode. I think we're gonna do more in the
Yeah.
future. You know, we like this style. Thank you for answering our Instagram stories and providing us with these questions. Thank you, Jenna, for coming on,
Thank
supporting
you.
us. You will be seeing her more when we do these Q&As. We force her; she does not have a choice.
And I'm not getting tipped either.
Yeah,
Where's my
She-
Where's my coffee?
she is. You know, I will buy you a coffee.
Oh, how
I will buy you a
sweet.
coffee for
How
coming on.
kind.
But I'm not gonna tip the
He's not
barista
gonna
that made
tip
the
me.
coffee.
Anyway,
will.
going back to what you were saying, I'll be back, guys.
Yeah,
don't
Jenna
you
will be
worry.
back. Once again, like, subscribe. If you like the podcast, follow us. If you don't like the podcast,
Still follow us.
still follow us.
Download it.
All right,
Share
guys.
it.
Go, yep, go download it and everything.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for
Bye.
listening.